Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Avadon 2. Last episode, we went further and deeper into the corruption, and found that even the corruption doesn't want Miranda here doing what she's doing. And we finally made it to the core, right where Miranda is. So, without further ado, let's go try and deal with her. She has two creations guarding her. As you get closer to Miranda, the ground rumbles powerfully under your feet. And there she is, with two corruptions with her. Miranda's horrors. Well, we can summon a minion, so well. At last you reach the rocky promontory, which stretches out above the caldera. Miranda is at the tip, standing in a protective circle. A shield of blue orbs swirls around her, promising protection from even your strongest attacks. Two horrors stand to either side of Miranda. Somehow she is commanding them. They are guards, crouched and ready to pounce on you. When you get close, she doesn't bother to turn and face you. Farron, you have come. I did not think you would live. Do not have hope. Destroying you will delay my work only a moment. You have some interesting pets. I command them. I have eaten and drunk of the corruption. It is in me. I use its power against it. You doubted I would come? You realize that Miranda is casting a long, complex, powerful spell. She extends her staff out over the lava, and bolts of lightning flash out into the chaos. She is throwing the unfathomable power here out of balance. She waves her staff as she talks, continuing her spell and disrupting the corruption's core. I did. It was my foolishness. It is not the first time I underestimated a young hand. You are still too late to stop me. What are you doing? I am throwing the core out of balance. The fire and madness of the corruption will be unleashed. It will wash out of this wasteland like a wave. Then it will recede, leaving the death of the pact. The ground shakes under your feet, almost throwing you to the ground. Miranda laughs. See? It is almost time! Remember those who loved you. Would they approve of this? For a moment you think you have actually gotten through to her. Her voice wavers. The ground shakes. Then she regains control. Redbeard took my love away from me. Don't think you can win mercy so easily. You insult their honor by speaking of them. Now you will pay. My pets? Cripple the hand. Let it live to see my triumph. Alright then. Triumphant roar. Miranda doesn't deign to attack you herself. Instead she cries out, Guardians of the corruption, aid me! Slay the hand! And sure enough, with 4 bursts of flame, horrors appear in a ring around you. However, the corruption does not like to be commanded. The horrors seem ambivalent. Sometimes they direct their attacks at you. More often, they shuffle from foot to foot, the first time you have seen these creatures be ambivalent. You also notice something odd. Each of them has a single blue orb orbiting around it, matching the orbs that hover around and shield Miranda. Interesting. Well, first things first, do what you can to deal with those horrors. I want to get them dead. I have a feeling when those horrors try and go for us, when we kill them, that'll cause problems to Miranda. That's what I think, anyway. Well, at least the pet is distracting those guys. And it's not doing much to them, but at least it's distracting them. So that's something. Our corrupting cloud likely won't do much of anything to these guys. Right, those are going to cause fatigue when they attack, which is a bit of an annoying problem. But yes, kill those horrors so we won't have to deal with them further. Yeah, those horrors that she summoned aren't really doing much. They don't care. I just want to... Haste and reflection isn't going to matter. Don't really have very much. Sure, Blessing Crystal. Ay, enough with the knockback already. Oh, that was a crit. So one of them is wounded. Almost got one of her horrors dead. I have no idea if something... You chop and hack at the horror and you are amazed it can still move, and yet it keeps lunging at you, so you damage it more. It reaches the point where it can no longer even stand and it still won't die. As you watch in horror, its wounds begin to close up. It is helpless, maybe for long. Okay, so these things are going to regrow. Good to know. In that case, do what you can to destroy those tortured horrors. Yannick can deal with them. Farron and Yoshiria can work on keeping these horrors down. There goes one of them. The horror dies. It collapses to the ground and instantly evaporates in a cloud of vile smoke. The blue orb that hovered around it floats in a circular pattern, seemingly seeking something nearby. Whatever it wanted, it didn't find it. It evaporates. Interesting. There's more that it wants to do. Okay, so I think what we need to do is try and draw them back to Miranda. Maybe. Do you have a heal spell? You do. This is a puzzle. Definitely a puzzle. More of a puzzle than I thought. About to die. Oh, there she goes. I'm going to need to reload. I have no idea meant to do here. I'm gonna reload. Alright, so this time, let's try and focus on these horrors. Get rid of these spheres instead. See what happens. 3 of them have spheres, 1 does not. Okay. Oh! This one's different. The horror dies. It collapses to the ground and instantly evaporates in a cloud of vile smoke. The blue orb that hovered around it floats in a circular pattern, seemingly seeking something. When it gets close to you, it switches direction, moving in a tight pattern around you. It It also begins to throw out little sparks. The sparks burn you and make it difficult to stay on your feet. The orb seems to disrupt everything nearby. Ah, I understand. By doing that, we then can get close to Miranda. I understand. Now it makes sense. Now get to Miranda. It'll take a couple turns. Gains blue orb. Okay, 2 of them have blue orbs. Farron can keep those creatures distracted a bit. As much as a pet. Not quite what I wanted. Ensnared. Not really what I want. But with Yoshiria right next to Miranda with that blue orb, let's see what happens. The orb orbiting around you comes close to Miranda, and something strange happens. It explodes in a cloud of sparks, which then drift into Miranda's shield. The shield becomes unstable. For a brief time, Miranda is exposed. You have finally gotten Miranda to stop her ritual. She turns around and mutters a word of power. Her shield is restored. The corruption is acting against me? But I was aiding it, unleashing its power. It is helping you? The madness has itself gone mad. But no matter, you wanted my attention? Now you have it. Okay then. Now, do what damage you can to Miranda. Lightning pot, if that does anything. It did. Perfect. And I think a disarming blow. You still have an orb on you, so you can do something about that. And then, Icy Lance. Miranda's self-control begins to crumble. Blood from a cut on her forehead trickles into her eye. Her skin grows pale and her hands turn into claws. The power of the corruption, sensing this weakness, flows into her. Yes! She hisses and points at her target. Take the madness into you! Feel the terror! Horrifying phantasms appear around you and the rational parts of your brain grow silent. Well, Farron is terrified, but we still have everyone else. Steel Tornado. You seem to have lost your orb. Missed. Dang. But at least I now understand exactly how this works. It's tricky. But we can do this. Not a fan of the daze. That got rid of some of the daze. So how long is that terror gonna last? Okay, that's a backstab, and heal yourself. Okay, Miranda's taken a lot of damage already. We may get her this time. Unless the shield comes back, in which case it's gonna take even longer. At last you deliver a solid blow. Miranda is too tired and weak to deflect it. You strike her solidly in the middle of the chest and she stumbles out of the protective circle. And the corruption takes her. The horrors let out anguished howls, drawing your attention in time to see them vanish. You look back at Miranda. She is frozen. Her skin has a grayish tint. The corruption's magic locks her in place, completely immobile. Her staff has fallen to the ground. You take it. Miranda has been defeated at last. Her final punishment will be delivered by the corruption itself. Everything grows still. Eerily so. The extra chaos stirred up by Miranda slowly ebbs. There are no horrors. The ground doesn't shake. Miranda doesn't move. To the south, you can see that the stone sentinel has reappeared. It waits for you. You inspect Miranda. She has been turned into a statue by the corruption. You look at her closely. There is no movement. You poke her with your finger. Her skin is as hard as rock. Then you see movement, just a tiny bit. Her eyeballs are moving, very, very slowly. Her face is shifting. It contorts itself in the tiniest of movements to convey an emotion. The only emotion she will ever feel again. Terror. Utter, absolute terror. The stone sentinel, the oddly calm voice of the corruption, is waiting here for you. It stands nearly motionless. Only its glowing eyes and mouth move. It is done. The flaw has been removed. Purity can be restored. What will happen to Miranda? There is a long pause. I do not know. Eventually something happens. It will take a long time. Purity will be restored. Fires come, burn away traces, your filth. I reward you. The caldera begins to bubble. The ground vibrates under your feet. I warn you, flee now, flee fast, and you live. Can't we talk more? We might learn from each other. The construct doesn't say anything. It emits a long, ugly grinding noise. Whether this is an expression of laughter or contempt, you aren't sure. Why are you rewarding me? We have logic. Logic of purity. Logic says to send you. Send our message. What is the message? Stay away. This land is pure. We will keep it pure. If you come, only purity is here. Go. Never return. Then the construct is still. There is a rumbling sound to the south. The uneven land smooth out, forming a narrow, safe path. Hundreds of feet of jagged rock just melt away. It's an amazing sight. Alright, let's get out of here then. The caldera to the north disgorges a towering lava beast. It begins to hunt. Okay. Then we shall continue running. We will leave. It begins to hunt for life to purge. Well, let's get out of here. And with that, we're free. Let's return to Monitor Base C. We must report in there first. Well, that happened. And at least now we know the corruption wants nothing more than to be left alone. That's all it wants. Come, let us speak with the person in charge here. Come on. Here we are. Commander Ophira, I have been to the core of the corruption. Miranda is dead. Ophira listens to your tale attentively, taking detailed notes. Amazing! This is the most we have ever learned about the core of the corruption. Oh, and your traitor is dead too. That's good, I guess. I congratulate you, Farron, for your success and survival both. When you left for the core, I honestly thought you would never return. I suggest you take your news back to Avadon. I suspect that the death of Miranda is something they want to hear about. Most certainly. And all honesty, I'm going to do that in the next episode. I don't know how long it's going to take with us reporting in and doing all that. There may be a lot more that we have to do. I don't know. So despite all the time we've taken and such, and I'm going to can things out and upgrade things. Wait, Staff of the Sorcerer. No, 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 no. Don't sell that. Staff of the Sorcerer. +2 to Ice Storm, +2 to Focus Mastery, +5 to magical damage. You lose out on... It's a little less magical damage, but this is definitely something we're taking. You are using this. Starfire Rod may give to our other companion, I don't know. Okay, well, this episode's gonna be quite a bit shorter, I think. But it's not too big a deal, I think. It was worth it. Next episode, we'll head back to Avadon and report in. And see what we're going to be doing next. Till then, I am Chestic44, that is Farron, Yoshiria, and Yannick. This has been an Avadon 2 Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.